All right, today I want to talk about area versus perimeter, and I want you to pretend that that's a circle, because I drew it pretty badly, but it's the best I can do. Um, we're going to assume that this circle has a radius of 1. It could be 1 foot or 1 inch or 1 meter, any unit, it doesn't matter. So if it's got a radius of 1, if r equals, I already screwed that up, hold on. If r equals 1, then that means diameter, that's all the way across the circle, equals 2. And that means that circumference, which is all the way around the outside of the circle, that's the perimeter of the circle. Circumference has to equal diameter. We use 3.14 as pi. That's not exactly pi, but it's close enough. So our circumference would be 6.28. So the perimeter of the circle is 6.28 units, 6.28 feet or miles or meters or centimeters or whatever. Area is going to equal pi r squared. Pi is 3.14 roughly times the radius, which is 1. And we're going to square that. And 1 squared is just 1. So pi r squared, our area is 3.14. So in this case, perimeter is 6.28, and area is 3.14 squared units, whatever those units are. Change this, and we make the radius 2, then diameter is 4 all the way across, which means circumference is 4 times pi, which is 12.56. 12.56 units. Again, it could be feet or inches or centimeters or anything, because that would be 4 times pi. And then pi r squared becomes, I don't like that, hold on. 3.14 times 2 squared. 2 squared, of course, is just 4. 2 times 2. So in this case, area and perimeter are the same. Four times pi, pi times 4, they're the same. Is that a pretty good explanation of the difference? That's just for a circle.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to a square. Actually, the same rules apply for a square or any rectangle. So I've got a square here in which we've got equal sides, and then I drew a rectangle that has unequal sides. That has a couple of sides that are 2 units and a couple of sides that are 3. 2 here, 2 here, 3 here, 3 here. In this case, it would be 2 all the way around. If we're looking for the perimeter, well, that would be 2 plus 2. I mean, just imagine this is a fence or something and we're walking around. If this is 2 miles, and 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 walking around the whole thing is 8 miles. That's it. Perimeter equals 8. And when we want to find the area of a rectangle, we multiply length by width. 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. If we're doing this rectangle, remember that this side is 3, this side is, whoops, nope. This side is 3, this side is 2, so these sides that are opposite each other have the same length. These that are opposite each other have the same length. If we're walking around the perimeter of this, we'd have 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3, which is 10. Perimeter equals 10 units. It could be 10 meters, it could be 10 miles, 10 of whatever. And if we're looking for area, that would be length times width, which is 2 times 3, which is 6. 6 square units. It could be 6 square miles or 6 square meters or whatever. And I want to do one more. We ought to edit this out, the part where I'm erasing.
We can do that.
Okay. Probably won't though, will we?
No.
Yeah.
I'm lazy.
And I know you are. And then we're going to talk about the area versus perimeter of in this case, a right triangle. We got a 90-degree angle here. There are ways of doing this with other triangles, but the easiest one's a right triangle. And again, we have a height of 2 and a length of 3. So, oh boy, this is going to get very complicated. We're going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem to find out this third leg. Find out the length of that third leg. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. A squared is 2 to the second, which is 4. All right, so this side squared would be 4. That length squared would be 4. That length squared would be 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. So c squared, this length squared is 13. So that means that this right here, this length is the square root of 13. Hun, can you work that out on a calculator for me? Because I'm way too lazy to try to do that division in my head.
I can't remember how to do square root.
It's somewhere between 3 and 4.
3.6055 something. It's 3.6.
Let's call it 3.61 approximately. So perimeter here, if we were walking around this thing, would be 2 plus 3 plus 3.61, which would be 8.61, roughly. Again, these could be miles or meters or whatever. The perimeter is about 8.61, give or take, roughly. I mean, if the answer, if my math teacher required me to be more precise, I could be. Or actually, we could just write this as 5 plus the square root of 13, which would be absolutely perfectly correct, but maybe not that useful an answer. Okay, if we were looking for area, imagine for a moment that this right triangle is half of a rectangle. The area of the rectangle will be 2 times 3, which would be 6 square units, 6 square miles or meters or feet or whatever. Well, the right triangle is just half a rectangle. So if the area of the whole rectangle is 6, then the area of the triangle is 3. It's half of that. So the area of this right triangle is 3 square units. That's a lot easier than the perimeter thing.
That's a cool little trick.
I know.